the planets, all of the astrological phenomena, they're not just rocks in the sky up there. They're the life force energies in each of us, in all of us. And, so the sun is literally that relationship that you have with power and your ability to use power. Either, your evolving confidence and truthful power, right? So we either overdo it or underdo it, but we're learning about power through the sun, and most deeply shown to us when our mind is impressionable and doesn't know anything yet as a child, by the archetype of the father. Now, again, some people grow up without a father, so they're going to get power from the mother or whatever, but that's also seen. Or the power comes in different ways, but you analyze the sun for the solar power that we have and the relationship to the father that most of us learned in that way. And so we can see a deep relationship with our connection to power and how it came through the father and his example of power and consistency and showing up and staying the course, whether he liked it or not, or whatever it might be, which we're going to talk about. That's what this class is about, is the family karma and the planets. So again, by the time we get to doing the full course in a couple weekends, this will have already been pretty much established. So this is going to be an examination of these planets and also the corresponding houses. And then on the weekend course, we're just going to be really analyzing how to see and understand your particular relationship with each of the planets. So it's good to just take a detailed examination of each of these planetary forces and their archetypal relationship to your family, just as a separate chunk. And again, the sun and the moon are two archetypes. Of course, the sun is that connection to your evolving confidence and truthful power. I say confidence because that's really how the ego experiences the sun. Well, I have the confidence to do this. I don't have the confidence to do that. And then we have the confidence to do something, so we might abuse the power. We don't have the confidence, so we're going to shrink under the power. Again, like acting like a mouse or a tyrant, right? So again, I'm just going to go reach one of these quickly and then go back and go more deeply into it. But the sun and the moon are like the two archetypes, because that's literally like the father and the mother. From the father principle, we learned power, authority, using it, not abusing it, staying the course, staying bright and powerful, and using power graciously. With the moon, it's our evolving emotions and truthful connection to the heart. Of course, we learn this archetypally through the mother. She was probably the emotional nexus in the family, or at least our connection to it. Because this is the other thing, even if these symbols weren't so powerful, we were looking to them for that. We were looking to the father to be the powerful one in that context, to be the confidence, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he didn't have it, so we had to look somewhere else, but then that's what we saw. We were looking for the mother to be the nurturing principal influence, to not just be in her own emotions, but to have deeper compassion, to have a truthful connection to the heart. And again, this is the moon process. The evolving moon process in us, in you, is to not just be emotional and emotionally reacting to everything, but to have a deeper anchor where you're more deeply anchored in the heart. And we look to the mother for that. And we saw the mother doing some version of that. And again, the mother also has power and the father also has emotions and feelings. But what we can say is that we're looking more to the masculine role model, which is the sun, for that masculine example of the father, the confidence. We're looking to the feminine role model, for example, in the form of the mother, to see the evolving emotions. And again, maybe her emotions were more hard or she was more the authority. So we kind of saw that. We sort of learned that. Again, this is what we're going to break down in the full course, but this is where we start to see the archetypal energies developed in us on a very primal level. We picked up the confidence style from the father. We saw that version of it. We picked up the emotional connection to the heart style from the mother. We saw that version of this is what the sensitivity to others looks like. We saw that example and mostly picked up on it and noticed it from the mother. Because we were born, we had no preconceptions. We didn't know what any of it was. So this is why it's so powerful and so important and so primal, because we were born we're like an empty slate. Everything feels erased. And so then we're in this family unit, and then we're watching all of this and going, oh, this is what's going. Oh, this is the way it is. This is how it is. That's why that whole family unit, it imprints on us something so primal, because we started from nothing. And by the time we woke up to who you were, by the time you said, okay, now who am I? This is the way things are, but now here I am. That doesn't happen till around 6 or 7 or so, when we start to really individuate and separate, start to really try to distinguish ourselves and who we are. Now we have interests and stuff before that, but we don't start to say, okay, well, who am I now in the middle of all of this until about 7 or so. Before that, autofocus on, before that, we're just picking up, we're like, literally the mind is empty, and we're picking up the idea that, okay, this is what life is. This is what power is. This is what feelings are. We'll go through each one. We have a sibling. This is what having another person around. Siblings or friends. Obviously, we don't have children yet. Venus, this is what other people are. This is what older people are, whatever it might be. But especially this very early imprint of father and mother are the most primal. Our relationship to power, and they're distinct. Our how to use our power and how to connect with others emotionally. And as you see up here, I'm going to start with these two, go a little more in depth, and then hit them all, and then come back a little further. But as you can see, what it says here with the father, it says behavior problem, narcissism, masculine narcissism, self-importance, aversion to responsibility, acting like a mouse or a tyrant. These are the kind of the extreme vacillations with our son. And as we develop our relationship to power, and I have male narcissism. Again, I'm using narcissism in a looser context, not in the overblown way that it's used now, especially in the kind of pop psychology, over abused usage that basically men are narcissists, women are empaths, and all that whole kind of cartoonish stereotype. I'm using narcissism in a more general term, of which I think is more appropriate for most situations. That there's the masculine version. Men typically have more, because men identify more with their masculine traits. Their quality of, we used to just call it self-centered, or we're all self-centered. We're all here feeling like the world revolves around us. It's just the illusion of the ego. And the male illusion of the ego revolves more around masculine principles. So the male narcissism looks more like, it's more upfront, it's more overt. We can see it more clearly because it's like, I'm right, this, that. But the behavior problem with the female is like a female narcissism, which is the codependence, boundaries, emotional manipulation, victim complex, passive aggression. Again, that's more the behavior problem with the feminine type of narcissism. And by the way, I don't make any distinction between one being worse than the other in a general context. in general, and that includes in relationships and everything else. It's just as much a problem if the woman is into all the passive aggression as it is the man is in the aggression. And these are learned behaviors that we all have, by the way. It's not like men only do this one and women only do this one. No, we also learn me as a man, I also have a female narcissism problem with codependence, boundaries, emotional manipulation, passive aggression. We all do. Just like women also have a masculine narcissism of acting like a mouse or a tyrant or whatever. We all have all of these things. But these are archetypes between masculine and feminine energies that are in us. And we learn these by, at least on the primary level, there's a primary patterning of the type of, I use narcissism, but of egoistic expression, which is a better way to explain it, of the sun and the moon, because that's really where that unfettered and ungrounded self-importance comes in. There are times when we feel like the only thing that's important is my emotions. That's it. My emotions are the only thing that matters. And that's really a female narcissism thing. Again, not just women do it, but women may have more of a tendency to do it and have it be blind because their identity revolves more around their feelings. Just like male, there's a time when only what I want to do is the only thing that matters, and that's it. And because men identify more with their masculinity, they could be more excessive in that regard and have it be more of a blind spot. But these are these are two sovereign energies where the archetype of the masculine and the feminine are deeply embedded in all of us, and we're trying to find a deeper empowerment through them, and we have a deeply embedded pattern within us that comes from the sun and the moon. And again, when we examine our astrology chart, we see how we perceive the father, and then we can go back and even look at the father's chart and see, aha, here's how his behavior showed up for me. So the good thing about this course is that there's a lot of opportunities for case studies, right? We could look at our chart and then we can see our parent in the chart. We could see our sibling in our chart. We could see us in their chart. We could see us in our parents' chart as well. Here's how they look to us and whatnot. Hang on a second. Or here's how we looked to them, etc. So seeing it from all these angles is really profound. But again, the father and the mother are the archetypal sovereign energies of masculine patterning and capability and potential to do what we want to do, whether we like it or not, whether it feels good or not. We stay the course. We take care of the kingdom. We stay on the course. The female, whether our emotions in the moment make us happy or not, there's a deeper level of love, transcendent love, connection to the heart, where even though the kids are getting on mom's nerves, she's coming from a deeper place of love. Even if they hurt her feelings, she's not burdening them with her emotional things. There's a deeper connection to the heart. We learn all of that archetypally, and we're first patterned in that way by